Might have to turn my mic. I'd like to call to order the February 4th, 2025 Stanley County Board of Education meeting. Good evening. We are, on behalf of the Board of Education, I want to extend a warm welcome to those of you who are joining us tonight, both those of you who are sitting in our audience and those who have joined us via live stream. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate you being here tonight, and thank you for being a part of our meeting. We thank you for your time, your voices, and also your commitment to education. So first on our agenda is the invocation, and I'll call on Ms. Carla Poplin.
If you would bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here tonight. Be with us as we go through our meeting. Help us to have sound minds and good judgment and do what's best for our district. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Next on our agenda is recognition of Stanley Stars, and I'd like to recognize Ms. Lee Hedrick.
Good evening, board members and guests. Each month, Stanley County Schools selects 2 stellar certified and classified employees to recognize and celebrate as Stanley Stars. As I call your name, if you'll please come to the front to accept your award and stay up front for a photo opportunity. First, I would like to recognize Jenny Hatley, a 3rd grade teacher at Indy. Mrs. Hatley is that teacher. She is the one that cares about her students and is willing to speak up in order to put students first. She has been touching the lives of students for over 19 years and has made positive impacts on so many families. Mrs. Hatley is a leader on her grade level team and in the school as she serves on the school improvement team, leads the school spelling bee, provides feedback to her colleagues through peer observations, and takes on new leadership roles each year. She continues to be an advocate for all students and works to find solutions for student obstacles. Mrs. Hatley is an admired educator in the community and respected colleague within the school. Please give Mrs. Hatley another round of applause. If Tina Shaver will please join us up front. Mrs. Shaver is an instructional assistant at Indy. When you picture an educator that is devoted to students, has a heart of gold, and is willing to do anything for her colleagues, you see Mrs. Shaver. Whether she is digging in the dirt with the greenhouse growers, driving an afternoon bus route, or providing math interventions to 4th grade students, she always has a smile on her face. She has developed relationships with students that creates a positive learning environment and relationships with her colleagues that has earned respect and admiration. Mrs. Schaefer leads the Indy Care Team, supports the Box Top Initiative, and even dresses as the Indy Red Hawk mascot. She is eager to support learning and is a crucial member of our team. Please give Mrs. Shaver another round of applause. Next, we would like to invite Mackenzie Bowers to join us up front. Miss Bowers is a 5th grade science teacher at Baden Elementary. We are thrilled to recognize Mrs. Bowers for her dedication to student success. Consistently achieving some of the highest EOG scores in the district, Mrs. Bowers sets a benchmark for academic excellence. Her ability to engage students through fun, hands-on experiments and interactive labs not only fosters curiosity, but also inspires a genuine love for learning in her classroom. Mrs. Bowers radiates positivity, bringing energy and enthusiasm that elevates her students. Her commitment to her students makes her an invaluable asset to Baden Elementary. We are proud to celebrate her achievements and thank her for her efforts to empower and inspire young minds. Congratulations, Mrs. Bowers, and thank you for being a shining star in education. Please give Mrs. Bowers another round of applause. And last but certainly not least, we would like to invite Kelly Lentz to join us up front. Miss Lentz is a school nurse at Baden Elementary, and we are proud to honor Nurse Lentz for her exceptional service and dedication to the well-being of our school community. With her calm and passionate demeanor, she embodies the qualities of a perfect school nurse, providing a reassuring presence to students, staff, and families alike. She goes above and beyond by serving as a vital liaison between home and school, fostering collaboration to address health concerns effectively. Her commitment to the physical and emotional well-being of our students makes a difference at Baden Elementary. Thank you, Nurse Lentz, for your tireless dedication and for being an invaluable member of our team. Please give Nurse Lentz a round of applause. And after Mrs. Coble gets a group shot, if you ladies don't mind turning, I know our board is going to lean over and they want to shake your hands and just thank you for the job that you do each day. And I'll just say thank you to the energy that the crowd brought, that energy and enthusiasm. It's present in our schools every day, and I don't know that the public always gets to see that, but that's what makes public schools in Stanley County the best choice for our kids. So give them a big round of applause while the board thanks them. I also, as human resources over recruitment for the district, can't help but point out the noise that you heard in the background are their teammates who are not required to be here at 6:15 on a Tuesday evening. So that just goes to show how our staff support one another. And I just want to thank all of you for your time tonight. Thank you for coming.
Hedrick, you're going to just continue with National Board Certification.
We would like to celebrate some staff members who have just achieved or renewed their national boards. National Board Certification is the most respected professional certification available in education. And this evening, we are delighted to celebrate Stanley County School staff who have accomplished this goal. So as I call your name, please come to the front to be recognized with a group picture, and then again, allow the board members to congratulate you and thank you for your efforts. We would like to recognize Sarah Furr from Richfield Elementary. We would also like to recognize J.C. Hawley from Richfield Elementary. Jessica Thompson from South Stanley High. And Beverly Bowles from South Stanley Middle. We would also like to recognize the following teacher for renewing their National Board Certification, and that is Lynn Carpenter from Locust Elementary. Thank you. Please give all of our National Board recipients a round of applause. Okay, and then if y'all will turn, I know the board wants to thank you. And you all may have noticed that they received a clear desk plaque denoting their National Board certification. That's a new initiative in Stanley County Schools, and we have ordered those and have them available for all teachers who have already received their national boards. They will be presented to their principals at this Thursday's principal meeting and then distributed in front of their individual staffs at their schools at their next staff meeting. But we're really proud of the staff that goes above and beyond for that certification, and we want to shine a light on them and show anybody that interacts with them that they are nationally board certified. Next, I would like to invite Jen Hodge from NCAT to the stage. She is here with a special recognition for one of our beginning teachers, and I'm going to have her introduce her colleagues.
Thank you so much. Good evening, members of the Stanley County School Boards of Education. I am Jen Hodge, the Chief Academic Officer at NCAT. With me tonight, I have Leanne Rose. She was the 2019 State Beginning Teacher of the Year, and she drove over to be with us tonight. I also have Kelly Martindale with Empower. So at this time, I would like to ask Bella Dobbins to please come forward. On behalf of the North Carolina Center for the Advancement of Teaching, it is my privilege to announce that Bella Dobbins has been selected as a finalist for the NCAT 2025 Burroughs Welcome Fund North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year Award. This recognition highlights Ms. Dobbins' exceptional contributions to the teaching profession and her remarkable impact on the students and community here in Stanley County. The Beginning Teacher of the Year Award was established to celebrate the creativity, resilience, and dedication of first-year teachers across North Carolina. Each year, more than 7,000 new educators enter classrooms statewide, and this award honors those who exemplify the best of the profession while addressing the unique challenges of beginning teachers. Bella Dobbins will be attending a week of professional development with her fellow finalists in March. On March 27th, NCAT will celebrate all finalists at a recognition event on the campus of UNC Greensboro. At NCAT, we are committed to advancing teaching as an art and a profession, and we are thrilled to celebrate Ms. Dobbins as a shining example of this mission. Please join me in congratulating Bella Dobbins on this outstanding achievement. We're pleased to provide you with this certificate recognizing you as an NCAT 2025 Burroughs Welcome Fund North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year finalist. Go ahead and give it to her. Please join me in congratulating Bella Dobbins. In addition, Kelly Martindale, on behalf of Empower, she is here to present Bella Dobbins with a check for $250. Empower supports North Carolina educators in their retirement investment plans. I am thankful for Empower's support of education in North Carolina. Thank you for being here tonight to celebrate this outstanding educator. We appreciate Stanley County Schools for recognizing Bella Dobbins and the NCAT Beginning Teacher of the Year program.
Get a little excited.
I'm coming back.
We need a little extra help. Yes, perfect. Okay, we'll go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Oh, wait a minute. Just come up. Did you get a wheelchair? No. Sorry. No, it's okay. You get the one that's
Just to put some context around the significance of this award, Ms. Dobbins is one of 27 in the state of North Carolina who was selected. So that's a massive accomplishment, and she got that her first year teaching. So congratulations, Ms. Dobbins. We would now like to invite Ms. Mariel Cook to the front. The Veterans of Foreign Wars VFW Teacher of the Year. Miss Mariel Cook is a second grade teacher at fifth grade, sorry. Our records are wrong, I apologize. Fifth grade teacher at East Albemarle. In January, VFW 2908 presented Miss Cook with the Veterans of Foreign Wars VFW Teacher of the Year Award to recognize her dedication to teaching and for bringing history alive for her students. We would like to recognize Miss Cook this evening for that award. Please give her a round of applause. All right, thank you.
Next on our agenda, I'd like to recognize Miss Amanda Simmons and South Stanley Middle School AVID students.
Hello, Stanley County Schools Board of Education. I hope you are all doing well and thank you for being here today. My name is Fiona Huang and I will be speaking about my personal experience with AVID. The prologue in the story is a young girl in the middle of her 6th grade year. She just moved to North Carolina from a different state. Everything was different. Different school, different people, different environment, and different classes. She had struggled to adapt and feel a part of her new school. She was shy, quiet, and didn't like to speak up. She didn't like big crowds or to be singled out. However, she found comfort in one class, art. The young girl in the story is me. I would dread school every day and be relieved when it came time to go home simply because I didn't like the new change. When I heard about AVID in my art class, I was intrigued. To be honest, I didn't even know what it was or what you do in it. But at the end of the year, I got in. I slowly adapted to my AVID class. It wasn't anything like my other classes, which is what makes it so special to me. AVID was and still is different. We might not like everyone, but we're a family. I didn't believe those words at first and didn't for a long time. How could you possibly like them or be a family with people who are completely different from you? Now I know the answer. It took me some time to get to know them. I feel like I've only just now started to get to know them and open up to them. But I've seen them as my family for a much longer time. They have always believed in me, supported me, and helped me. And it hasn't just been my friends in Avid, it's been everyone. I feel much more comfortable with my Avid family than any other class. There truly is no better word to describe Avid than a family. With their help and support, I've become more confident in myself and have been able to speak up and even give speeches like I am today. I wouldn't be here today if not for Avid, and I mean it wholeheartedly. Just looking at some of my accomplishments can illustrate this. With Avid, I was able to be my best self. I received Student of the Year, and was accepted into the South Stanley Middle School Honor Society. A year later, I became the Honor Society president, gained the confidence to join Battle of the Books, and earned a C in Math 1. I believe that it was Avid and my Avid family, which is what encouraged me and gave me the confidence to be able to step out of my comfort zone and accomplish all that I have today. Avid has also helped me realize my dream and what I want to do. I have found out what colleges suit me best and where I want to go to. It has also helped me find what kind of education I want and what would be best for what I want to go into. At this point in my life, with the help of Avid and all the research that we've done, I want to become a marketing agent. We also have tutorials which most, if not all of us, don't like. Even though that's the case, it has helped me and countless others with our problem-solving skills. And if I'm still struggling and not sure what to do, I can always turn to my Avid family for help. Looking back at it now, I can't tell you just how grateful I am to Miss Simmons and my Avid family. It made up my whole 7th grade year, and at this point in my 8th grade year. I truly don't know where I would be and who I would be without Avid. Now it just feels right. It feels like Avid is my home at school, and everyone in it is my family. Please never stop the program. I hope that you can support this program for many years to come, as it has transformed so many people's lives, including my own. Thank you so much for taking this time to listen to my story.
Hello, Stanley County Schools Board of Education. My name is Ayana Ballard. I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to me. As I begin, I'd like to speak about my experiences with AVID. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, but to me, it means much more. Stepping into AVID means taking a deep breath of air. It has done nothing but enhance my abilities of sociality. Ever since I started school, I never spoke to my peers. In preschool, I would walk away to play with toys. In elementary school, I'd sit on top of the hill and read. My struggles with anxiety would greatly affect my social life. I didn't have a single friend. By the end of elementary school, my self-esteem was practically non-existent. I didn't have anyone to talk to. It seemed that I would weird everyone out. I struggled with many things. At the time, my application to AVID was because of boredom. I wanted anything but to increase my chances of doing the same classes for 7th grade. I'm glad that I applied. If I didn't, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Throughout my whole life, I have been quiet, anxious, and considered weird. I never truly had a friend to share my experiences with. This caused me to bottle up all of my emotions, keeping them to myself. In the middle of 6th grade, I applied for AVID. By the end of the year, I found out my application was accepted and I would officially start AVID by 7th grade. I could not express my thoughts of surprise when I found out what it was like. There was a lot going on. I had friends there, but I still felt out of place. The program was open last year, and this was only my first. My feeling of misplacement would only last for a bit. With the help of AVID, I knew how to problem solve, evaluate how I felt about certain things, and I knew how to talk. I have always been told that I had a voice of passion, a voice to tell stories. I never understood what that meant until I stepped into the classroom. I'm proud of my voice and my ability to tell stories, all because of a program that I didn't even think I would care for. AVID has truly allowed me to recognize myself as a person, as a student, and as many more. I owe it to Miss Simmons the most. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't be here reading this. I would also like to thank my AVID family. I hated talking, but in AVID, it's bearable. That is all thanks to them and their support. I have confidence, and I know what I'm worth. I've made nothing but friends, and it is all thanks to AVID. So yes, the word AVID means more to me than just an abbreviation. It has basically saved me and my emotions. I don't know what I'd be without it. Thank you for listening to me speak about my experiences with Avid.
Good afternoon. My name is Jade Berkeley, and I joined Avid my 8th grade year, which is the year I am in now. I have to say that the semester and a half I've been in Avid, I've really realized how special it is and how much it has changed my life. Before Avid, I didn't fully recognize my potential. I went through the motions, doing what I had to do, but I never really pushed myself beyond my comfort zone. Avid changed that. It gave me the tools not just to succeed academically, but to believe in myself. I'm learning through Avid how to stay organized and to manage my time, to developing critical and collaboration skills. Avid has been so much more than just a class. It has been a support system and a family where we encourage each other to aim higher and dream bigger. It taught me that college wasn't just a possibility, but it's my future. I look forward to entering high school with the knowledge Avid has given me, and I truly believe that everybody should have a chance to experience what I have. Though I am sad my Avid journey ends here, I know it's never too late to apply what I've learned. Because of Avid, I am more confident, more prepared, and more excited for what's ahead. And best of all, I get to stand here and give this speech. Avid isn't just about getting good grades, it's about becoming the best version of myself, and for that I am truly grateful. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my speech.
Hello everyone, my name is Adelaide Simmons and I'm an 8th grader in the AVID program at South Stanley Middle. I am here today to share my journey of gaining confidence through AVID. This all started back in 6th grade when I was really quiet and shy. I often felt scared to talk to others, especially when it came to presenting in front of a group. However, I decided to apply for the AVID program, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And honestly, it was just because my mom was the teacher. But what I did not know was that I was committing to a family, my AVID family. To my surprise, I was accepted into AVID. In AVID, we focused on developing our presentation skills, and that meant I had to step out of my comfort zone and speak in front of others. I vividly remember being one of the last to present during my 6th grade year. Yet, I felt a sense of support from my peers in AVID. I was never judged while presenting. This experience helped me gain the confidence I desperately needed. AVID encouraged me to try new things, even things that I thought were beyond my reach. For example, I tried out for both the cheerleading team and the tennis teams, but I didn't make either of the teams initially. From my 6th grade year, instead of feeling discouraged, the lessons and persistence from AVID motivated me to try again. After 6th grade, I tried out for both of the teams, and once more, this time I triumphed by making both of them. AVID has opened my mind to thinking about my future, about the college and careers I could pursue. While I'm still not exactly sure what I want to do, I am confident I can achieve more than I ever dreamed possible. In addition, every Thursday and Tuesday, we participated in studies called tutorials. To be honest, nobody really likes tutorials. However, they equipped us with problem-solving skills that have set a foundation for our future even as middle schoolers. Finally, AVID has helped me become bold and less insecure about my appearance and identity. This newfound confidence has led me to play the keyboard on stage at my church, something I never thought I'd be able to do. In conclusion, AVID has played a pivotal role in my personal growth and development. I am immensely grateful for the skills and confidence I have gained through this program, and I look forward to seeing where these new traits will take me in the future. Thank you for your time.
Hello, Stanley County Schools Board of Education. My name is Hayden Hatley, and today I'm going to be giving a speech about AVID. AVID has been one of the best things to happen to me for multiple reasons, and in this speech, I will state a few of them. AVID has helped me become confident in my speaking in school. I wouldn't be here today speaking this if AVID wasn't there to help me. I've been in Avid all 3 years of middle school, and over that time, I have grown tremendously in my confidence. When I first entered Avid, I was very shy and I wasn't able to get out of my comfort zone. My 6th grade self would have never thought of being able to achieve the things I have, such as being part of the South Stanley Middle School cheerleading team, along with the tennis team. With the help of Miss Simmons and my peers in Avid, I am now stepping out of my comfort zone in a lot of things. For example, I am now part of the National Junior Honor Society and have gained the confidence to join Battle of Books team. Another example is Avid has helped me out so much that I was also confident enough to apply for Stanley Early College. Without Avid, I wouldn't have been able to do many of these things. I'm very devastated that this will be my last year in Avid, knowing I probably will not ever be able to do it again. Throughout my years in Avid, I have not only gained a family, but a supportive one, and a lot of friends. Whenever I enter Avid, I know that everyone will support me in whatever I do. I used to not know what I wanted to do for an occupation, but thanks to Avid and how we learned about college and career readiness, in my future, I figured out that I would like to go to North Carolina State University and work as a veterinary surgeon. I personally would like to thank you for having us and for your time that you have given to listen to these speeches. Thank you.
Ms. Simmons, could you have them to come around and let the board shake their hand, please? The board will now need to go into closed session, so I'll entertain a motion for closed session to discuss personnel matters under North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A6, student matters under North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A1, and attorney-client matters, North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A3. Do I have a motion? We go in closed session?
Ms. Whitaker, I would like to actually ask the board that we move closed session to after the meeting, so that way we can be respectful to the people that have come to speak. I need to make a motion to amend the agenda.
Do I have a second?
To move closed session to the end of the meeting.
Okay. Sorry, this is the first time. So I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to move closed session to the end.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? All right. So we can move the closed session then. Really, if we can we'll just go on to public comments, and then we'll go right back to closed session. You want to put it at the very end? Okay, we'll put it at the end then. Okay. So we'll move on to public participation at board meetings. In accordance with Policy 2310, public participation at board meetings each month are part of our at least one regularly scheduled board meeting. We will set aside for citizens to address the board through public comments. Each speaker will receive 3 minutes to present their comments. However, the public comment session will not exceed 15 minutes total, except by the majority vote of the board. Board members are reminded that they will not respond to individuals who address the board except to request clarification of points made by the presenter. There is also additional information in that policy 2310 that you can find online. So the first person we have signed up is Ashley Udi.
Thank you for having us tonight. My name is Ashley Udi. I'm speaking today on the topic of the school redistricting. I'm a resident of Locust, and I have been for 44 years. My mailing address is Locust, and my home is 5.6 miles from Locust Elementary School. My son, Nixon Udi, is a 4th grader at Locust Elementary. My family has put our heart, soul, and money into the Locust community because Locust is who we are. My husband and I plan our work days around transportation for our 3 children in Locust. We travel past Locust Elementary on our commute to and from work 5 days a week. I realize the information I'm sharing may not mean anything to you, but it means everything to me and my family. It's who we are on a daily basis. It's how my family functions. Moving my son to Indy is going to disrupt our life in a way that you could probably not understand because it doesn't affect you directly. Trying to move approximately 160 kids is a big deal to the families of those 160 kids. It's a big deal to my family. If I'm not mistaken, Indy Septic System isn't even hooked up to the city. I may not have my facts straight. That's just what I've heard. I understand they're building a new building, but is that new building going to be hooked up to the septic system to be able to feed all these kids into it? If not, are we creating a new problem that we will just have to put out a fire in the future at Indy to house all these kids? I understand due to the influx of the housing developments, it's overcrowding our schools and forcing a family to move against our will to accommodate these new kids is not okay. It makes me very frustrated to know that I am being the one forced to move my child when the new communities are welcomed into Locust Elementary, taking the place of my son, who has attended Locust since his kindergarten year. Forcing us to move our children is like placing a Band-Aid on a leaking faucet. It doesn't make sense, and it's not a long-term solution. We have known that growth here has been being made, and making a very sporadic decision that affects families in a negative way is chaotic and irresponsible. If we were to talk about a quick solution, what about moving the transfers out first? I do not know the exact amount of kids who have transferred into Locust that do not live in Locust, but what about let's start there? Even if it's 50 kids, that would allow Nixon to stay because he deserves to be there. It's where we live. It's always been our district. Why are we not asking the transfers to move to their designated schools as a solution? In the beginning of our school year, we see you elected officials visiting the schools and reading to our kids. That's great, and I appreciate every bit of it. However, I would like somebody from the board member to contact me, since I'm the one being affected, and see how it affects my family, because it's a big deal to us. And I'm sure a lot of families don't even know to be here tonight, but I'll stand in representation for a lot of these families who don't know that it's a problem. I'm sorry?
Your 3 minutes is up, but if you have additional information that you would like to leave with us, you can leave it with the board clerk.
I'll just ask you be open-minded to any and every solution and not just jump to the first solution on the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Nixon Udi.
Let's go.
Nixon, can you reach that mic and just pull it down to you just a little bit? There you go.
My name is Nixon Udi, and I am a 9-year-old boy in 4th grade at Locust Elementary School. I have been at Locust since kindergarten. When my mom told me, I feel sad. All my friends are at Locust School, and I would not like to move. Please do not make me move. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Nixon. Next is Lacey Helms.
Board members, I come before you tonight hopeful that I am speaking to a group of people who are really willing to listen. and consider the things they are met with tonight. I hope you haven't closed your minds to our concerns and that you are willing to go back to the drawing board if you can't truly say that this is the best solution that you can offer. We have a need in the district, especially in the western end, for more space. That is something that we can all agree on. However, the proposed solution that you are presenting to uproot roughly 160 children, simply put, isn't a solution. It is just kicking the can down the road to deal with later, and at what cost? This move will take an emotional toll on the children and the families that it affects. There's no question about that. You will be taking children away from an environment that they are comfortable in and a place that they feel safe and free to learn in. You will simply be shuffling these children out to quickly fill their places with new children moving into the community. Why not district the developing neighborhoods into Indy to fill those spaces instead of causing a disruption to the children you already have assigned to Locust, a school that is performing very well at current capacity rates. This would give you the breathing room to make changes to get ahead of our issues and stop chasing them without making any child move away from a school that they are already accustomed to and established in. Ridgecrest needs to be a focus. Yes, it will come back to affect the same area you're proposing to affect now. However, being made to move schools for a solution versus being made to move for short-term relief is two completely different things. A board member stated in a Stanley News and Press article that opening Ridgecrest would only move 160 kids into that school. Yes, that is the same number that you currently plan to move to Indy as a solution. How is it a better idea to move 160 kids to take up more space at Indy than the option of opening Ridgecrest with 160 kids to create more space at Locust, have additional space at Ridgecrest, and keep open space at Indy? This would give you multiple solutions to ease current and future growth. We need to come together as a board and a community, boots on the ground, outside the box thinking. We need to advertise cleanup days, fundraising efforts, turning off commenting on social media platforms. Last minute, poorly advertised meetings during work hours is not where we should be. We need to commit to stop making quick, rash decisions and short-term fixes. We need to really listen to each other and to be open and transparent with one another to truly do what is best for the children. They deserve that at the very least. If you can't go home tonight and confidently say that this redistricting proposal solves so many problems that it's worth the toll it will take on each child it affects, then this is just the easy move, not the right move. Please make moves to really make Stanley County Schools be a place to be proud to be a part of. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Helms. Next is Philip Blackwelder.
Good evening, Board. How are you? I represent my wife and my children, both going to Locust Elementary. I'm not from here. I'm not around living in Locust. I'm from a different part of the county. But I did come from a school to where I had to sit on a bus for over an hour and a half every day from, 6:30 in the morning till 4:30, 5 o'clock at night, moving around, going around. And I heard during the board, the bus guy was talking about over an hour and a half being on there, getting on something at 5:50 in the morning. I'm 5 miles from Locust Elementary School. My family moved to Locust to go to attend these schools, to be in the middle school right down the street, to go to West Stanley, because this was a choice that we made to go to a district and a school that was, going beyond the goals of everything that you could possibly do and killing the numbers. I'm here on behalf of them thinking my house is right on the line, so just move that line on down and come up with a better way than you can think, than moving kids that are trying to live in a place where they want to be. Not somebody new coming in and saying, okay, well, let's make room, move those guys over there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Blackwelder. Next is Geneva McMillan.
Good evening. I'm not looking for a solution tonight. This is more so for awareness. I'm going to read the grievance that I filed today with my daughter's elementary school. Per policy 1740-4010, I am writing to formally file a grievance regarding the persistent bullying, racial harassment, and physical threats my daughter Naima McMillan has endured at Aquadale Elementary.
Ms. McMillan, If you're filing a grievance or have a grievance written out, that all needs to be handled through our Human Resource Department. Ms. Lydia Hedrick over there would be able to take that from you if you have it completed.
Okay, can I still address the issues though? Like these other parents did?
Can our time be stopped?
Did you read that? Okay, all right.
Because I do want to make you all aware of what's going on at this school.
Go ahead, you can continue.
Thank you. Over the past several weeks, my daughter has been subjected to an increasingly hostile environment that has negatively impacted her emotional well-being and sense of safety at school. Despite my expectations that the school would provide a secure and inclusive learning environment, Naima has been repeatedly targeted by students through verbal abuse, physical intimidation, and racially charged incidents. Beyond the verbal harassment, Naima has faced multiple instances of physical intimidation and threats. She's been surrounded by groups of students making verbal threats, making her fear for her safety. Another student aggressively grabbed her arm before, and male students have openly stated they are ready to fight our daughter. In addition to the racism and physical aggression, Naima has endured repeated insults about her appearance. The bullying has not been limited to words. She has also experienced physical targeting that has further contributed to her distress. One student in particular has created constant drama, including making unsettling comments about demonic topics, which has added to an already toxic environment for Naima. My husband and I personally visited the school today to have lunch with Naima and try to speak with the students directly, making it clear that they need to stop bothering her. The police were called to the cafeteria to address us, yet no action has been taken when our daughter faced repeated threats. Despite all of this, Naima has continued to excel academically and as a leader among her peers. She thrived as a cadet in student council, was recognized as Student of the Month for empathy, and recently won her class spelling bee. She was excited about advancing to the next level of the competition, looking forward to representing her class and continuing to challenge herself. It's heartbreaking that instead of being able to focus on these positive experiences, she has had to endure an environment filled with fear, stress, and anxiety. We enjoyed the events that the school hosts and everything, and I love that they're trying to create a fun school community, but it's clear that racism runs rampant within those walls, and the failure to take decisive action has allowed it to thrive. Due to those incidents, we've made the decision to withdraw Naima from that school effective today, and I'm just making you all aware of what's going on in these schools. We are new here to Albemarle, and this is not the experience that we were expecting or looking forward to. And I just want to make you all aware. So thank you for giving me the platform and the opportunity to speak.
And we also want to mention that we've seen that there's been instances in 2021 and 2022, and we just want to know whether there's any plans to address those moving forward in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is curriculum and instruction, and I'll call on Lynn Plummer.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I am excited tonight to talk about a little bit of good news and things that we have seen going on throughout the district. Because teaching and learning is about words and numbers, I decided tonight to make this presentation by the numbers just to kind of spotlight some of the things that we have that have gone on throughout the district. Obviously, I am not the sole face behind this work. We have a great curriculum and instruction team that is here to help and support and make these things happen. They are definitely having their toes on the forefront each and every day and making great things happen for our teachers, for our students, our families, our communities. To start with, one thing that we have really looked into, we heard about letters and the science of reading for many years, and now that we've got our boots on the ground and we're working with these things and what these things look like in our classrooms, we're excited to look at some of this data. And the state has told us we're in this place now that we should be implementing. We should be seeing some of these outcomes and what that looks like. More so really getting started in kindergarten and first grade outcomes, then transitioning over into second grade, third grade, and above. For instance, with our middle of the year M-class assessments that we have just completed, across the board we have 57% of our students mid-year who are at or above grade level. We go backward to the 2021-2022 mid-year data mark, and we were at 46% above grade level. So starting to see those climb, starting to see that we are getting ahead of ourselves and being where we need to be. Helping to support those efforts, we are thankful for all the federal funding that we are able to provide. Within our Title I schools especially, we do have 30 tutors who are employed within our Title I schools just to help offer that additional support where students have those deficits, those weaknesses, to give more of that one-on-one, one-on-two, one-on-four attention throughout the school day to help support along the way there. Within our Title within our Title IV funding, we are able to provide our students with swim lessons who are in second grade. And this year we have right over 700 students who have been able to be a part of that opportunity. We do partner with the YMCA. The YMCA is great to us to offer us not only a space to do it, but utilizing their swim instructors. Their lifeguards are on duty. While students are swimming, other students are off on the sidelines that are still continuing with school, but just to give them that opportunity, knowing the health part of that, the safety part of that, having as much water around us as we do, Title IV, and the YMCA offering this for us. Dual immersion is definitely something that 6 years ago was just in the talk and we didn't know a lot about it, what was going on. Oddly enough, we have exactly 100 students who are in dual immersion K-5. Little shocked when I did the math just to make that work and make sure it was right. But this year's fifth graders will be our first kids going into middle school next year. I will say that the middle school team at West Stanley Middle School has already been working to support the program and put things in place. We have already interviewed and offered a position to a teacher to move into that role for next year. So Ms. Honeycutt was on the ball to make sure that she could find the right fit for her school and for the program for those students. So we're excited to see where these students go beyond elementary school with their Spanish speaking into middle school and beyond. We finished up our fall testing in high schools just before the winter break. We are happy to see some growth with our students there. We have put some district curriculum into place and have been able this year with our English 2 scores to see an 11.8% difference compared to where we were at this time last year. We still have second semester testing to go, but with that 11.8% increase getting us to 51.7 at this point, we hope to see those same numbers come in the spring to help support and push us further beyond that. Similarly with Math 3 is a little bit of a different beast when it comes to thinking about schools' performance grades. It factors differently into what that SPG is. These kids really matter if they also took Math 1 as an 8th grader. Just the way that the formula works and how those numbers work within the formula. But we had 27.5% of an increase from Math 3 last year at 66.76. Obviously, we still have more Math 3 to go this year to help support that. Also, another note with that is more than 19% of an increase with the college and career ready. We know that students, we're looking for that proficiency to be level 3, level 4, level 5. Anything lower than level 3 is just reported as not proficient now. But those 4s and 5s are what we really strive for, showing that they are really meeting those targets, not just at the state level, but at the national level, to be college and career ready. And more than 19% of an increase with those 4s and 5s for this year so far. Behind Title II lies a lot of work, but one of our proudest moments with Title II, as we saw tonight with Ms. Dobbins being awarded, is our support of beginning teachers. And as a way that we can help support and retain those teachers and make sure that we are giving them everything they need to get started on the right foot, we provide mentors and a beginning teacher coordinator for 113 beginning teachers. We're going to see more of those and more of those numbers coming in as the years go on, but it gives us a way to provide those mentors with a stipend for what they're doing above and beyond their own classrooms to help other teachers. Last week on a CTE webinar, we received some new numbers for where we are with credentials in CTE. CTE credentials are essentially assessments that students can take in high school that they carry out into the workforce, and they're already licensed, credentialed to be able to do those tasks and have shown mastery of those things in high school. At this point, from first semester of this school year, we do have just over 2,500 credentials already under our belts. If we look at last year's total, we were just over 4,900, so we have more than half of what we ended up with last year. If we continue with that same trajectory, we'll outperform that 4,900 number. One thing that Mandy Melton always says and tells her teachers is, anytime students are standing in line at the door with their book bag on is a wasted minute in these classrooms. Those are minutes that a credential can be earned. So she really encourages those teachers to stay on top of those credentials, take pride in those credentials. It's giving students something they can use beyond the high school classroom. Along with that, they do have a post-secondary survey that they have to complete each year. Each student has to go in as a CTE completer and complete the secondary survey. They have until the end of the school year, but thanks to our CTE staff, they have already reached that 100% milestone. They were actually recognized on the webinar last week as being a district that is already advanced and has that taken care of. As we talk about more people moving into our schools, we obviously know that we are seeing people not just from in and out of Stanley County, in and out of parts of the state, but we are seeing a variety of people that are helping and supporting and growing the culture of our schools. And thanks to Miss Lappin, she does whatever she can to keep our communication strong. She now supports 18 different languages between documents that go to and from school, parent-teacher conferences, sending out phone calls at the last minute for weather delays, things like that. So just making sure that we can stay connected with our people and knowing that they are still a part of us here in Stanley County. I'm very proud of this one. I serve on a committee that we are planning the second annual K-8 Literacy Summit that will take place right here in our region. The Literacy Summit is the brainchild of our local superintendents. They came together to brainstorm what is it that our teachers need some support around. What can we do to build and grow our teachers even more? They came up with the Literacy Summit. We did it last year. This year we sent out calls for proposals for presenters at the summit. And I just checked yesterday, and Stanley County Schools has 24 teachers, curriculum coaches, leaders who have applied to be a presenter. Of those 24, there are 11 different sessions, so some of them have teamed up to do it together. But we are 11, there are only 26 total who have even applied. So we are almost half of the people who have applied to do it. I think it speaks greatly to the things that our teachers do day in and day out to support and work with literacy skills to help students, elementary school and middle school. We also, through Title IV funding, are able to send our media coordinators to a conference to keep them abreast not only of the media side of things, but the technology side. A lot of times we forget that they are very versed in the technology and want to help and support that. So we are able to send, we've got 8 who are interested in going, so they will be going to visit us at NC Ties. 3 final things. Don't forget these dates if you want to come out and see some fun. District Spelling Bee is always a fun time to hear some words and realize that these kids are really studying this spelling in their classroom and sometimes can spell some words that we don't know right off the top of our heads. Battle of the Books will take place on April 17th. And also we are continuing with summer reading camp this summer. The calendar for that is in board docs for you if you want to stop in and see what these second graders and third graders are doing just to promote literacy and support that, to help with some of that summer slide so that we start the next year strong. Feel free to drop in and see us. We'll be at Albemarle Middle School in July.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Clymer. I loved your presentation.
Thank you.
So it's nice to see the numbers. Sometimes we don't realize what all's involved there, so thank you
Madam
so
Chair,
much.
I'd like to ask one real quick question. It might be a better question for Mandy than you. Do you happen to know of those credentials, how many were NCD, Department of Labor, Tier 1, 2?
I do not know the numbers that we looked at. We had not split them down, but we can get that for you. Not a problem.
Madam Chair, no question, just a comment. Mr. Palmer, I just want to thank you for your presentation, and it's wonderful to see all the great numbers that we have going on. And also, just thank your folks for all the hard work
Absolutely.
they're putting in, because, the presentation shows that what we're doing is working, and I just appreciate that. And just to know, summer reading camp is wonderful. I had a child that went through that. Seems like it was just a few years ago, but I think it's been a little longer than that.
I will say every year that budget gets a little smaller, but we still hold it near and dear to our hearts. This is year 12 of summer reading camp, so we still try to do what we can to make it happen for those
But
kids.
if you have a child that's recommended, I highly recommend they go, because it keeps them on the right path reading through the summer, and it's a wonderful opportunity.
And I want to agree with that. I had a child that went as well, and it was well worth it, and I'm glad we were able to fund it for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Chair, I certainly enjoyed the presentation too. Thank you, and thank you for all your hard work and those that work with you. I think that the summer reading camp, so I have a question. You said it's going to be at Albemarle Middle.
Correct.
Okay, what grade levels does this involve?
So it is at Albemarle Middle School. We have traditionally done it at Central, just trying to bring kids in. We got to an issue that we would have issues with the air conditioning in the summer, and to keep from having to pick up and move from one school to another, it's just been an easier, consistent way through the summer. Qualifications for summer reading camp are all based on end of year data that comes from M-Class as students complete that in the spring. We have anybody second grade and third grade are the big foci, but we are hoping this year that we are able to even add first grade into the mix to help some of those early literacy skills and be able to do that as well. A lot of that depends on funding. So we are being strategic in materials that we use to not have to buy more stuff, but let's use some of what we have so that opens the door to have more staff that can be on board to be able to support first grade as well. So definitely second grade and third grade, we're working hard for those first graders to be a part of it as well.
Okay, well, that answers my question. I even wondered if it went up all the way through fifth grade before they entered, the middle school. And that.
So when COVID came about, we had one summer that lasted anybody in any grade level worked through it. The money that pays for this now comes from the state. It's Read to Achieve money, and Read to Achieve is a K-3 law, so it focuses on those students within that realm. We have to provide for second and third grade, and then we can go lower if we choose to, or if we have the funding to be able to do that.
Thank you. One other thing, I know that we purchased a lot of the supplemental materials or books and consumables. Could you give an update? Is that, are teachers using those?
Sure. And again, like we talked about them from the get-go, is anytime you walk into a classroom, whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, they may not have that book laying on their desk at that exact point. At some point, that is integrated into what they're doing. It gives the teacher a jumping point from where to start, gives them something to launch from. So yes, we are using the materials. We have even found a lot of other things that can help to supplement where we have gone through this year. Ms. Raper has definitely talked with teachers, talked with principals in middle schools where they may say, well, we need to pare something down a little bit, or we need to bump something up a little bit. And we've been able to utilize some other funds and resources to be able to support some other areas as well, to be able to make that happen. But giving us a level playing field to start from, to know that teachers have these resources in their hands, I think has definitely been much appreciated.
Yes, it has, and I know that board members here that, we're thankful that we have those materials, and, and again, thank you for providing the update as to, the consumables being used.
Right.
And everything.
Well, and I can't say it speaks completely to it, because I know the teachers definitely play a big part in it, but even thinking about those English 2 numbers and what that looks like with that increase from where we were last year, putting that emphasis back on what we truly need and what those standards are, and giving teachers something to start from, and not making them go out and always find those things. There's only so many hours in a day for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plummer.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Next, we will move on to committee reports. The first committee we have is Capital Improvement Planning with Ms. Gibson.
I will try to keep this brief, Madam Chair, but the Capital Improvement Planning Committee met January the 8th and January the 16th. At those meetings, we heard from Mr. Mike Miller with our in-depth Numerex study, which provided the following, and I'm just going to kind of bullet these areas, with an updated student membership forecast, the land use study, the 2024-25 development updates within our county, student reassignment to Indy Elementary with that new addition having a capacity of 575 students, which will provide relief for our western end elementary schools and aid in accommodating future growth with trying to preserve our clean feeder patterns. And I know that we talked about this in our meeting just recently as well with the whole board. Our committee, as well as this board, is given frequent updates on Indy construction. And let me add, Indy construction is right on track, because I talked with Mr. Keith Benton today with that building construction. HVAC units are soon going to be installed. The classrooms are beautiful. They are large. Colors have been selected for flooring, the bathroom tiles. Teachers have had an impact. Their voice has been heard in colors as well as furniture that has been selected, especially involving the student desk. And I actually was able to meet Mr. Keith Benton and look at the new construction, and I know that soon, hopefully, Madam Chair, that we can have a time where all the board can see the construction as well. But it is coming along nicely, and it is beautiful and a state-of-the-art new addition. As our committee moves forward, we know that a priority is preparing for the submission of the needs-based grants to our commissioners. And we can look at a grant of up to $62 million, which is a 5% match by our commissioners, which is great for the taxpayers of Stanley County. We know that the state has awarded monies last year to Tier 2 counties. We fall into that Tier 2 county. Essentially speaking, it's free money that's awarded to counties for school construction. So our committee is going to continue to be tasked with moving forward with this. And And in our Numeric study, the demographer has shown this committee, as well as our board members, that the building of a new school on the site of the current Oakboro school property will provide long-term relief to the western end schools. So we know that we want to work closely with our county commissioners, and I'm going to applaud you, Madam Chair, for the extending invitations for our commissioners to visit with us, tour our schools, our facilities, so that we all get to see the condition that our facilities are in. With all this being said, in preparation for pursuing the $62 million needs-based grant, our committee has heard presentations from 4 architect firms in building design processes. All we've done is just listened to their presentations. But we know as we move forward that our commissioners have requested in the past, they've requested architect renderings of schools that we're talking about. So, you know, we're looking at architect renderings for a new Oakboro Elementary. I think we'll move forward and look for a rendering of an addition to West Stanley Middle School and what that will look like, involving hopefully an additional gym as well. So I do want to address and emphasize to the public as well as our board that we've had much discussion with Mr. Miller and the Numeric study, which is something that we were asked to do, to work and our findings coming from, not from us, but they're coming from professionals and from a study that's been done. And I hope that moving forward, we're not looking at, we're completing a study and then it's put on the back burner and we're not doing anything with it, because that's what's happened in the past with many of the studies. So that was kind of an overall. I know that Mr. Lisk serves on the committee. Ms. Watson serves on the committee. Now, if there's anything additional that you want to add, please feel free.
I think you did a great job explaining that. I'll just point out that in looking at the study, it's 2 years in the making. Actually, it's the second iteration of the 22-23 school year that we did. The fourth demography study completed, to my knowledge, in the last 20 years. And the county owns the land behind Oakboro. So it's ready to go. The 4 architect firms, I think there were 5, but the 4 we were most interested in has a lot of experience with the needs-based capital fund grant. These are monies allocated from the state Congress from lottery proceeds, specifically for new construction. Designed and opened, I think, in 2017, reiterated on their sort of what's required in 2021. But they're going to, hopefully, if the board decides to hire one to help us with some of the western end issues and really addressing facilities across the county. But we're taking a very targeted approach on what the needs are now. And Oakboro really solves some of those significant elementary crowding problems longer term.
Thank you for that report, Ms. Gibson. I do want to sort of touch on what she said. We did extend an invitation to the commissioners. It's really important, I feel like, for them to go out and visit our facilities. It gives them an opportunity firsthand to see what our needs are. So on February 12th, we do have 4 commissioners that have agreed to go out to our schools. And on that day, we'll be going to West Stanley High School to Ober Elementary School, and then to South Stanley High School. So I'm excited. We're working on the relationship with them, and I'm excited that they agreed to the invitation, and I'm looking forward to the visit on those days. Next, we will move on to finance with Mr. Lisk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We called a meeting on January the 8th, primarily to, it starts budget season. The county commissioners like us to get, initial numbers to them before spring gets here, and they make their decisions on allocations to the various agencies by June, but it's, incumbent upon us to get that to them. So we try to start around January. It's a little bit of a copy and paste from last year. We provided a very detailed breakdown for the commissioners, for the taxpayer, to see what it is that we're requesting. A lot of that had to do around our higher need schools, had a lot to do with teacher and academic support, curriculum materials. It was really, when you look at the per pupil funding, really built around academics. And trying to increase the offering across the county and in our high schools in particular. And then, of course, as Mrs. Gibson explained, a lot of capital funding, and that's fairly extensive. So, but coming out of our audit report, which was extremely favorable, we have one of the best finance departments in the state, been awarded, have done a very good job, clean audit. I wanted to talk about the fund balances. And I'm going to talk, we talked a little bit about that, and they seem high on the surface when you look at it and you say, wow, that's a $5 million general fund balance and a $3.5 million capital outlay, which is specifically for facilities. And those two buckets of money come out of the local taxpayer. And then there's this other special revenue fund, which is there for like state grants and donations. And that's restricted to exactly what the state or outside agencies have provided those for. So back to the general fund balance, we do know that there were things like, and the committee discussed the unfunded mandates, as I would call them, of the classified pay scale that we've been talking about in committee, I think to the tune of about $1.3 million. And that was implemented for this school year, I think, right, Mr. Dudney? And it's recurring. So we're mandated to increase this pay, to change the pay scale across the platform, and it was coming out of local taxpayer dollars. Our superintendent and his cabinet have done a fantastic job in increasing that fund balance, and we're able to use the federal funding in recent years, ESSER funding, in such ways within the program that allowed us as a county and as a school system to build those fund balances. And if you listen to the audit report from the outside independent auditor, he always references a 3% cut in state funding is a significant amount of money and could wipe out our local fund balance. So it's a rainy day fund. It is interest bearing, by the way. We do have money sitting in what the state provides, like savings accounts, and it is interest bearing, so it's not sitting there doing nothing. But I wanted to know where this money is going, because I know that we have big expenses coming out, and our fiscal year will end June the 30th. So with regards to the general fund balance, most of that, without the additional funding that we're requesting from our county commissioners, out of the $4.9 million, we've got just in one expense item, $1.3 million per year coming out for the classified pay scale. In 3 years, roughly 3 to 4 years, that balance is zero. There is no more rainy day fund. So we're going to request again this additional funding on top of some of the other things. So that is the general fund balance that you might see on the audit report. Capital outlays, there's extensive, I would ballpark as a layman, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of facility renovations and constructions needed in the county, and we roughly get $3 to $4 million a year. And we've asked for much more last year. We'll ask for much more this year. But that capital outlay balance is $3.5 million. Many of our facilities, if you think about your HVAC system at home going out, mine went out recently, and a home my father lives in, that's $7,000. Shingle had to be replaced. We've got $1 million going to Oakboro. We've got a roof going on at West Stanley High School. We had a boiler go down at Christmas. That was $250,000. HVAC repairs, another couple of $100,000. And so $3.5 million quickly by June 30th of this year is expected to be $1.5 million. The project at Oakboro, maintenance set ladder on the wall moved. They learned, wow, our roof was built on top of the roof and the wall wasn't even attached to the roof. So that's $500,000 this summer. You see all the work being prepared for that, and that's $500,000 next summer for one of the oldest, worst-built construction buildings in the county that you hear Mrs. Gibson referencing. We need a new building. So it's local taxpayer dollars that we're having to go to keep the students in there because we are crowded. K-5 capacity is only 275 students. But that balance will get drawn down. And I say all of this because we're entering budget season. We're going to ask for very large numbers. But you will get, as a voter, as a taxpayer, as an employee, as a family, parent, student, commissioner, you're going to see exactly where this money goes. And then the board saw in the work session sort of a lot of, I would say, I don't know if teachers do it today, but when I came through, there was always the red marker in my English classes, you know, with my terrible grammar. And that's what our budget request looked like. Because a lot of those things just didn't get funded. So we're going to ask for them again. We've got some unexpected things that have happened in capital, so that's going to be very large. And I believe that was it. We did meet on January the 17th. That was for closed session personnel matters. And I know that the agenda referenced action coming out, but there's no action coming out of this committee for open session.
Thank you, Mr. Lisk. Next, we'll move to policy. Ms. Allman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On January 23rd, Policy Committee met to start policy revisions. I've got a list here for policies for approval for the first read, so would you like for me to individually read those out?
If you'd like.
So for policies for approval in the first read, we have policy 4329-7311. That's the bullying and harassing behavior prohibited. And then we have policy 1725-4035-7236. This is Title IX, sex discrimination, prohibited conduct and reporting process. And we also have policy 1726-4036-7237. This is Title IX, sex discrimination grievance processes. Do we have to make a motion to approve those?
We'll go ahead and read your tabled for 30 days. We'll
Okay.
do that motion all together.
Okay. Next is policies to be tabled for 30 days. This one is policy 7810, evaluation of licensed employees. Policy 7811, plans for growth and improvement of licensed employees. Policy 7815, evaluation of non-licensed employees. Policy 7900, resignation. Policy 7910, retirement. Policy 7930, professional employees for demotion and dismissal. Policy 7940, which is classified personnel, suspension and dismissal. And then policy 7950, non-career status teachers, non-renewal. And then last on the list is policies to be rescinded for next month. Okay. Policy 5311, evaluation of licensed employees. Policy 5331, required action plans for certified licensed employees. Policy 5525, evaluation of classified employees. Policy 5360, resignation. Policy 5530, resignation. Policy 5210, retirement. Policy 5365, teacher dismissal, demotion, and non-renewal as applicable. And then lastly, policy 5535, dismissal. So I make a motion to approve.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the first read and the tabled policy that's
The
presented.
motion's coming out of.
Yeah, so it's coming out of committee, you just need a second, so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Second.
Second. Well,
Sorry.
Okay, a second.
Second, Ms. Gibson. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That's a lot of work. Ms. Almond?
And Ms. Whitaker, just for clarification, the ones that were on first read, those were just changed due to general statute changes, so it didn't really have anything to do with them.
The Title IX did revert back to the Title IX.
Yeah.
As originally stated.
Your bullying harassment added an AI component since it's becoming a big issue. So the board was or at least the policy committee and the board were proactive in putting in protections for children who are targeted using AI in ways that would either humiliate or cause, mental anguish to a child. So I applaud the board for making that, because that is a policy that not a lot of districts have adopted. We're one of the first ones.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to curriculum and instruction. Mr. Plummer, you are back up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I bring to you tonight an item for action. It is something that we have done in the past. Different than what I showed earlier with summer reading camp, this opportunity gives our schools and our students the option of a retest after they take their end of grade test, after they take their end of course test, and allows the school to reclaim some of those proficient scores with a little bit of an extra nudge and support to get students showing what they really know and have mastered through the school year. EOGs begin as early as May 8th, I believe it is this year. Mr. Hatley has worked diligently with those schedules, and we're sharing those with principals on Thursday. And while schools go ahead immediately after they receive those scores back, either EOCs don't come until later, we have to have at least one day outside of the instructional calendar as a remediation day before we are allowed to have a day that we can do the retesting. So because of the way the calendar falls, we have an early release day on Wednesday. Our remediation day would be that Thursday, inviting students to come back in, push into some of those skills, to target some of those foci, there's that word again, based on their end of grade test and some of the supports they need in those areas where they weren't quite strong enough to bump it over into a level 3, 4, or 5, and then come back on that Friday to be able to have their retest. You'll notice on the document we do have the ability to extend that window a little bit into the following week. The hard part comes in, those become optional teacher work days, and we can't require teachers to come to work on those days, and we know we need staff to support the testing and to be able to make these things happen. I will say in the past we've seen some great gains in some of our schools to be able to help their school performance grade. In some places, it's even brought schools from where they would have been a D with those initial scores, being able to increase that into a letter C with those retest scores. So it really does provide some opportunities and show those students that if they put that work behind it, they really can do it. They've worked hard all year. We want to give them that opportunity. So this tonight just opens up and gives us the ability to be able to remediate on Thursday, retest on Friday, and be able to bring those scores to where we know they need to be.
Any questions for Mr. Plummer? We need to take a vote. So
Please.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2025 summer remediation and retesting plan as presented by Mr. Plummer.
Move we approve the 2025 summer remediation and retesting plan as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plummer.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move to, motion to move the personnel and administration on the agenda to behind the closed session.
So we have a motion to move K, personnel and administration. It will be the last thing on the agenda behind the closed session. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. So next we'll move on to comments. Does anyone have any comments tonight? Go ahead.
Y'all looking at me like you know I do. All right, real quick, I'm going to pull up an email here. Just want to do a couple shout outs tonight, some positive things that we might have missed. All of our awardees today. Proud of those folks beyond words. But Hayden Jernigan at South Stanley is he's got the #1 speed in North Carolina 1K race indoor track. That's a state record. When a kid does something like that, that's a lifetime bonus. So I wanted to, give a big shout out to that kid. He wasn't running; he was kind of flying on 2 feet. I also want to shout out to our county commissioners who showed up for our meeting yesterday. We need their involvement, and I really appreciate Mr. King coming out and being part of that. That's all I got.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair. Okay, Vicki.
I would just like to say I am so proud of Stanley County Schools. Mr. Plummer does a great job. Ms. Hedrick does a great job. Dr. Dennis does a great job. And Mr. Duddy does a great job. And I'm just thrilled of all the good things that are going in our school system. And this county office does a super great job. They work themselves to death. And I appreciate every one of them. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, I think I can echo what Ms. Watson said. It's nice when we see all of our county office people here at our board meetings, and it's really very much appreciated. I want to say that listening to those students was a highlight for me. I think it probably was everyone, because I know that takes courage to get up. Number one, courage in front of your peers, but then when you get up in front of board members, they were so composed and so confident. You didn't see any nervousness at all. I'm glad we have the AVID program, and I hope that we can continue to keep that program. The other thing I want to say is that I am glad that our board, that we have met at just recently, a special called meeting, but to know that we are able to talk, to work through things, and to see what I believe our end goal is. We have a vision, and we have a vision for our facilities and the needs of our students. And I think as we are working with our commissioners, and I am really looking forward to visiting our schools with our commissioners, the one thing that every person needs to keep in mind, first and foremost, is the education of the child. And that involves the curriculum that they have available to them. And we want them to have the best. How do we have the best? So sometimes we cannot offer the curriculum that's needed because of the size of the makeup of a class. And then the one who loses out on that is the student. And so first and foremost, with everyone, we need to keep in mind the education of our children is front and center. And our facilities, everyone deserves the best. And we should not have to look across at a neighboring county to see facilities that we sit back and say, I wish we had that, because we have a way to have those things. We have a way to have both of those things. Curriculum that's offered the best possible for our students, and facilities that are the best for our students, our teachers, our staff, our families. So as we move forward, and again, I applaud you, Madam Chair, that we are trying to work and establish that relationship with our commissioners. And that's our end goal, is the education, the best education possible for our students. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I go now? I want to start off with, Mr. Plummer brought up second grade Learn to Swim, and I got to see some of our swimmers today because of my new office location. And that was the highlight of my day. One of the highlights of my day today. It definitely put a smile on my face to see our kiddos in the pool, and even some of our EC students in chairs were able to be in there and in the pool. And so that's always kind of a special moment for me, since that's the year that my son learned to swim with Stanley County Schools. Always a fun program to get to take a peek in on. So I got to walk up there and peek at some of our kids today. And they were having a really good time waiting on their friends too. They were playing dominoes and things in there while they were waiting, and so they were very pleasant and very well behaved. So that was great. But I wanted to just note that for Mr. Nixon to get up and speak today, that was very brave of him, and I appreciate all the folks that gave public comment. But I wanted to also just clarify a couple of things from our work session the other day. I know that I think it was mentioned that we had voted, or at some point voted, to start a process that I'm not real sure that there was an actual vote taken on. We did vote to add an addition, but I just wanted to kind of clear some of that up, because I went back and pulled some of those minutes, and there wasn't a vote taken for like the process of redistricting at that point in time. It was talked about, and there were several conversations. And I just want to ask if there's more than one draft that was presented. Could the whole board have that given to us so that we could see the multiple drafts? Because I have a couple of issues with that draft one, and I want to make sure that I have those cleared up before we try to go further with that.
When you say drafts, are you talking about what we received from NUMERIX? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, we could do that. Any other comments?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board, for moving the public comments to allow our speakers to go ahead and speak. As a mom that has been before that podium, and having to wait until after closed session, that's my reasoning. Is just, I think, the most respectful thing that we can do for somebody that takes time out of their night to come and speak. Nixon Udi, like Carla, he got me. So brave, and I hope he's watching or at least listening, how proud I am that he got up and shared from his heart. It is things like that as a board member, I take very seriously. I take into deep consideration. And when it comes to redistricting, it's a very hard thing. And I have learned that since yesterday. And the people out there that are being affected, as a personal board member, I'm not speaking for the board, but as a personal board member, I hear you, and everything that you say, I am taking into consideration and to heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just have a few things. First of all, next month, February the 5th is National Read Aloud Day. I know I'll be at one of our schools reading as I have allocated some time, and I'm very excited about that. I love this time of year. February 15th is the SRO Appreciation Day. We had an SRO in the back, don't we? Oh, no, I thought you were someone else. February 24th through 28th is Public Schools Week. February 3rd through 7th, School Counselor Week. And this month is Love the Bus Month. We have Black History Month, and we also have CTE Month. I have some quick CTE facts for you. As far as enrollment, for this school year, we have 1,518 students who are enrolled in high school CTE course, filling 3,120 seats. Almost 70% of all high school students have taken a CTE course. Sorry, I'm trying to get through this quickly. This school year, 591 students enrolled in non-traditional CTE courses. This school year, 447 students have taken a CTE-related course through Stanley Community College. This school year, 871 middle school students have taken a CTE exploratory class. Almost 50% of all middle school students have taken a CTE exploratory class, We offer 64 different CTE course offerings, 46 students are participating in internships, and 7 students participating in a pre-apprenticeship program. As far as credentials from last school year, students earned 4,900 credentials approximately, and 27.9 increase over the prior school year. And last school year, students have earned 2,563 credentials, which is 75% of credential potential for the semester. Our student organizations, there's 3 I want to highlight, not that I'm not picking any in particular. FFA has 115 active members. Skills USA, for the 23-24 school year, we had 46 students compete at the regional state level, and 3 students competed at national level. And the last thing is National Technical Honor Society inductions are this month. Thank you very much. Oh, one other thing, sorry. I would be remiss if I didn't say that Central Elementary School is going to be recognized at the State Board of Education meeting on Thursday as a 24-25 North Carolina Distinguished School ESEA recognized school, which is a big accomplishment, and they'll end up going later on down to Texas to be recognized as well. And thank you to all our Stanley Stars. I'm really finished now. Thank you.
That was some speed speaking there. I just wanted to just tell the Avid students how much I enjoyed them speaking. I could relate to what they were saying. I was one of those people that when it came time for me to stand up in front of the class to do something, I physically became sick. You can ask Angela Mills, my elementary school teacher. So Ms. Simmons does an excellent job with those students, and you can tell just by listening to them talk that there is there's a love there, between those students and her, and they are, you could tell after they finished speaking and they went back over, they got the support from their classmates standing there. So I really enjoyed that. I also wanted to tell the board too, if any of you do want to go out and if you haven't been able to go and visit the new edition of Indy, if you'll let me know, we'll set that up. I encourage you to do that if you haven't been out there lately. They are really moving along with that project, and we are very excited about that. So next, our next board meeting will be on Tuesday, February 4th, 2025, here in the Gene McIntyre Room at 6:15. Next, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel matters, North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A6. Student matters, North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A1. And attorney-client matters, North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A3.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? We are now in closed session. I'm going to call us back into open session, and we will go to personnel and administration with the personnel agenda. Ms. Hedrick.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, board members. This evening, we do have the February 4th personnel agenda for your review. Section 1 does not require any action. It is simply for your information. However, Section 2 and 3 do require your action. I do have one small amendment to make for your consideration. In Section 3, I need to amend the end date on the amendment for Superintendent Dr. Jared Dennis's contract. A typo on my part, I listed June 30th, 2029, and I need that to say 2028.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve with the change, the recommended changes, Section 2 and Section 3.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.